Welcome to the Workbench. I'm Doug. Has this ever happened to you when you start sewing on your mechanical machine? You start to sew and there's no stitching. If you noticed when I started, as soon as I began, the thread pulled out of the needle. It's because I didn't have the take-up lever at its highest position when I started to sew. So what had happened was it was on its upward motion when I began. So when I started, this came up and pulled the thread right out of my needle. Sometimes if it does that, it could even get wrapped up internally somewhere in your machine. Okay, so to correct that and properly thread your machine, it's very important that you have your take-up lever placed to its highest position every time you begin to sew on any machine. So let me thread that up again for you and show you the better result that we get by starting with the take-up lever in the up position. Okay, now I'm going to thread this by hand, but some of you may have one of those needle threading tools available that you can use. If not, visit your Baby Lock retailer and they'll certainly be able to provide you with one. So the take-up lever is now at its highest position when we start, and we have a very good smooth stitch out. But has this ever happened to you? After you get done sewing, you raise your pressure foot, go to pull your fabric out, and it's stuck. Now, I could remove it by jerking on it to break the thread, but if I do, then it could entangle underneath. And then when you start your next stitch, it could entangle the fabric that you're prepared to sew. Okay, so anytime you finish sewing, it's also very important to stop with your take-up lever at its highest position. So if you stop sewing and you don't see the take-up lever, then always turn your hand wheel towards you until the take-up lever is at its highest position, and then it will release very easily. Trim your thread. Leave it laid towards the back. That way when you start sewing, your thread is held from the back tight to form its first stitch. So once you get accustomed to that, it'll become second nature for you. When you stop, just rotate your hand wheel so the take-up lever's up. When you begin, make sure you start with that take-up lever up. So that is one of the advantages of buying a Baby Lock electronic machine that has the automatic needle up, needle down button. Because when it stops with the needle up, its job is to actually place the take-up lever to its highest position. Now that you know, get out and sew.